If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is a very important episode that you should share with people. People need to know about what's going on at CERN. I've covered it many times over the years. I've actually been waiting to cover this and the restarting of CERN, which they've been talking about the last couple of weeks, until we got into July, so that people can be aware that it's going on and not forget that it's going on. CERN is restarting the Hadron Collider. A lot of people are like, I don't know what that means. It's all scientific stuff, and I don't get it. And they're doing it for science, and they're exploring the black hole. And this is stuff that humans shouldn't be doing. And for those of us who understand the spiritual battle that we're in, understand this. What they're trying to do is pretty much blow a hole, okay? Blow a hole in the atmosphere to bring over what's on the other side. Now, I don't understand how any person who is not spiritual, who does not understand, I don't like to use the word spiritual, but someone who's not a follower of Christ and hasn't read the Bible, I don't understand what they think this is about. Because if you've read the Bible and you understand about all this stuff that they've always done, right, with worshiping these demons and possessing themselves, becoming demonically possessed, okay, CERN obviously fits into all of that stuff with what they're trying to do. Now, if you're not someone who follows Christ, what do you think when you hear this stuff with the Hadron Collider? What in the world could you think the benefits could be? Oh, we're going to blow matter up so we could just study it and break it. Trillions of dollars have gone into this project. Trillions of dollars, which is definitely funded by us, of course. And they talk about what they're going to do with it, and people still are like, cool. Oh, this is really good for science. They're literally talking about blowing a hole in the atmosphere. First of all, if you don't believe in what's on the other side, even though every single TV show talks constantly about other worlds, they even taught that to us in school in science. They're like, matter could be happening in the same place at two different time periods and all that crap. We've seen it in Westworld where they've shown, the tearing of the veil and going over to the other side. We've obviously seen it in Stranger Things, which I'll show you the clip again so you have a better understanding. But they are restarting CERN, and their goal is to bring over what's on the other side. So let's start there. Let me show you some stuff first, and then we'll get into exactly what this means. So here is CERN. Here's what they're trying to do without even hiding it.
So today is a special day. It's the end of the long shutdown for the LHC. Not only the LHC, but also the experiments in the LHC and the injector chain for the LHC. The long shutdown was used to upgrade the machine, to upgrade the injectors, to create more bright beams in order for the number of collisions in the LHC to increase. The experiments have also upgraded and to be able to detect all these collisions, of course. And today, actually, the beam turned for the very first time again in the LHC at injection level, so not yet accelerated, injection. And the very first things we're going to do is, with this beam, check out if all the instruments and all the equipment in the LHC is working as it should. Everything has to work at the same time, like an orchestra, where all the music has to play synchronously for it to be beautiful. And that's the same in the LHC. For it to work, everything has to work at the right moment, at the right time. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put some obstructions in the beamline where we hit the particles on this obstruction. This will create a shower of secondary particles, and this can already be detected by the detectors. So the detectors will light up, and the experimentalists can see if their detectors work in all the channels. And then in the coming periods, we will increase the energy of the beam to the world record of 6.8 tera electron volts, and then put the beams in collision. And this will happen in July, when the real physics will start again.
When you're talking about the Large Hadron Collider and physics experiments at this level, the key word is energy. What they're trying to do there is mimic, approach the energies that happen at the beginning of the Big Bang. When all the energy that was released, some of it stayed energy, a lot of it turned into matter. And so if you want to understand the nature of that matter, you need to pull it apart and have a good look at it. And you do that by banging particles into each other that smash into their constituent particles, elements, even smaller and smaller and smaller subatomic elements. And you need huge energies to do that. You're accelerating protons, the building blocks of atoms, around this ring at near the speed of light and smashing them into each other. And they fly apart, revealing all the constituents and other elements and energies that make up matter in the universe.
And why is this research so important?
Well, if we want to understand our place in the universe, we need to get as deep down as we can get. And in order to do that, you need these energies. And that's what they're doing. They're upgrading the injectors that fire the particles. They're not upgrading the magnets so much as retraining the magnets that direct these particles, so that you can get these higher and higher energies. And also they're getting higher collision rates, because when you're doing these experiments where maybe 1 in 1,000 times you get the result you want, you need to do them many, many, many times over and over again. And, the answer to why are we doing it is, if we want to understand the universe, our place in the universe, we need to get as fundamental understanding of it as we can. It's called the Standard Model. And what these guys are trying to do is break the Standard Model to see if it holds up to everything they can find out. Everything we know about the universe is all lumped together in this idea of the Standard Model.
So what kind of timelines are we looking at here?
I won't see it. It's impossible to know, because each time they do something, they find out something else. Until 2012, the Higgs boson was something on an equation, and then the Large Hadron Collider proved it. The things that are going to be very interesting in the next in the next few years, I was talking to a physicist at CERN, not involved with the Large Hadron Collider, but with the antimatter factory, which we're going to visit on Razor in a couple of weeks, which I'm very excited about. He said the raison d'etre for the Large Hadron Collider now is to try and discover dark matter. Dark matter in that Standard Model that I was talking about, and dark energy, are the bits we know have to be there, but we have no idea what they are.
And if you don't understand, well, CERN, of course, we've seen the clip of CERN, where CERN has these bizarre commercials where you literally can see that they're performing satanic rituals. Like you could see inside of the giant circle, which, of course, what is the circle used in, right? In witchcraft, they always have the circle, the protection circle, and they stay inside the circle, right? It's a coincidence that CERN's a giant circle. It's a coincidence that in the commercial, you have the things coming over from what's on the other side, the outside of the circle. I'll show you right now, right? That's a demon on the outside. They're bringing it inside the circle. It's just that people can't grasp what I'm saying, because they hear like demons into my, they're like, that's all crazy talk. Yet, they go see spiritual advisors, they go see psychics, they do Ouija boards, they watch all these shows about ghosts, they believe in ghosts, yet they don't want to believe this stuff, or they just, something in their brain refuses letting them believe this stuff. And CERN is openly talking about this. This is what they're doing at CERN. Here's a clip from Stranger Things as well as the commercial.
In Cosmos, Carl Sagan talks about other dimensions, like beyond our world.
Basically, there are parallel universes, just like our world, but just infinite variations of it.
We were thinking of more of an evil dimension, like the Veil of Shadows. You know the Veil of Shadows?
You can move forwards or backwards.
Well, is there any way for the acrobat to get to the Upside Down?
You'd have to create a massive amount of energy, more than humans are currently capable of creating, mind you, to open up some kind of tear in time and space. You create a doorway. Magnetic field, our environment, heck, it might even swallow us up whole.
So people should be very alarmed by this, but it's not a mainstream story because, again, it's in the name of science. So if it's in the name of science, you should trust it. Just like that poison that people took. Scientists hope upgraded atom smasher can crack mysteries of the universe. Okay, so what is this? Mysteries of the universe. So is anyone weighing the pros and cons, the dangers of doing this? Even if people didn't believe there was another side or anything like that, what would the benefit of this? Why would we need to do this? Oh, so we could examine what? What are you going to tell me, like aliens or something? I mean, what is the way that they explain this to people is what I want to know. How people are like, this is really beneficial for society. We need to do this. The Large Hadron Collider is scheduled to restart July 3rd through the 5th, and scientists are ready to resume experiments that could explain mysteries of science, of existence, including the invisible particles that make up matter. So why am I covering this on top of all this stuff? It's because spiritual warfare is going to be insane. So stay prayed up. And I look, you could roll your eyes at it all you want. The more you study the both sides of this, and I'm a Christian, so obviously, reading the Bible, studying God's word, and then seeing what these people practice, covering and exposing them. Okay, it is so obvious that this is the spiritual war the Bible talks about is at such a high peak level right now. It's only going to get worse when they do stuff like this because they're bringing entities over. That's what this is about. And even Christians, they hear that, they roll their eyes like, that's all crazy, weird stuff. It's in the Bible talks about this stuff. What do you think God means when he talks about a veil? Do people not understand? Like, this is the tearing of the veil is what it is. They're bringing over what God has hid from this side. And that's what I've been saying in recent videos about all this stuff with global warming. I believe the reason they want to go green is that those things cannot exist. I believe personally. It doesn't mean it's fact or anything like that. Just from everything I've studied and this obsession they have with going green. It's not about money. It has to be done. They're doing it however it has to be, however they can to make sure it's done. Because I don't think what's on the other side can exist on this side because God made it so that we give out carbon so that these things can't be here and exist with us in this plane, in this field, in this earth. That's what I believe. So that's part of what, you see going on here too. So they say faster, better, stronger. A new phase of operations at the Large Hadron Collider, the world's largest particle accelerator, is scheduled to start in a few. Now it's scheduled to start today or tomorrow, this weekend, the 3rd. Just a day after the 10th anniversary of its greatest achievement so far, the discovery of the long sought after Higgs, this stupid thing, the Higgs boson. The collider's reopening, it's been closed since 2018, is an important event for global science. Oh, is it? As what is generally considered one of the biggest science experiments ever conducted, has already helped reveal important details about the fabric of reality. The Higgs discovery in July 2012 affirmed the standard model of particle physics, which still holds away the best explanation of how matter works. I mean, what? The stuff that they just matter. And then, people are like engineers and physicists. They're like, oh, this is really, really important. Yeah, smashing atoms together and doing all this stuff. It's really, really necessary. They're doing it because they know what's on the other side. They know what they want to bring over. And then they tell humanity, oh, well, it's just in the best interest of humanity. We're going to do this so we could just do a little bit more studying so we can understand more about the Big Bang Theory that we made up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Big Bang Theory that you invented so that people wouldn't believe in God. And of course, the people who believe in the Big Bang Theory, don't even get me started about how dumb they are. Because they're the same people. I'm pretty sure if you want to look at scientific data, every single person who's taken the magic potion is probably 100% somebody who believes in the Big Bang Theory, right? And that just tells you how naive and how vulnerable and how weak-minded they are. So another thing to mention too, and I showed you the clip from Stranger Things, is all of these movies and TV shows, these very prominent ones, like nobody asks a question. They're like, they watch Stranger Things like, oh, I love Stranger Things, the music and the retro feel, and oh, it's so different. And it's like, what do you think they're talking about? Before Stranger Things came out, I was talking about Dungeons and Dragons being a gateway game. Like, that's how they indoctrinated kids with witchcraft and magic. There was a lot of stuff in the 80s about it. And of course, that's how they created the Satanic Panic, and they made people think that, oh, you're a weird parent if you didn't let your kid play Dungeons and Dragons. It was just a gateway. So many Satanists from back in that time period admitted that that's how they got into the occult. They wanted to really try it and really practice it. So anyway, the show is about, Dungeons and Dragons, so to speak. And the Hadron Collider, they're trying to rip open what's on the other side. The whole upside down and everything is what they're doing with the Hadron Collider. That thing you saw in the clip is the Hadron Collider. How do people not connect the dots and see it? They're just like, what? They're like, no, they're not the same thing. Oh, yeah, they are. But they don't realize that what they see on the news is 100% fiction to herd them. And the stuff that they reveal to us in these quote unquote fictional shows and movies is them showing us their plan for humanity and desensitizing people to what they're going to do. So they say we're now ready for run 3. And that's what this is. Run 3, according to Renee Stennerberg, I wonder what that nose looks like. Bagel with extra cream cheese, who heads beam operations for CERN, the international organization that runs the Large Hadron Collider, a vast hiding ring of tunnels and detector caverns built deep underground beneath fields, trees, and towns on the border of France and Switzerland. That's what CERN is. Over 5 miles across and more than 16 miles around, the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, has been dormant for more than 3 years while it's been upgraded with tens of millions of dollars worth of improvements. The upgraded facility will achieve energies of up to 13.6 trillion electron volts, compared to just 13 TeV in the previous run, and advanced detecting equipment to better examine the chaotic explosions inside the giant atom smasher. It's now being tested at low power, and the first experimental collisions of the third run will begin on July 5th, but I believe it's being turned on the 3rd. So this is what's going on in our world. This is the real stuff. Stuff that you won't hear the mainstream media discuss, ever. I mean, does anyone know if we've ever heard CNN, Fox, ABC, any of them? Does anyone know if we've ever heard them one time even mention the existence of CERN? CERN, whose logo happens to have the 666 in it. Nobody, they wouldn't mention that on TV, of course. But they haven't even mentioned CERN in general, have they? Their bizarre commercials with bringing over what's on the other side. CERN, even in the past, I've done videos, CERN's even covered the Mandela effect in the past. Nobody mentions that, right? I mean, it's unbelievable that this is even something that exists in our society, that people would say, well, that's needed. We need a Large Hadron Collider to blow open a hole in our universe. Do we? I think that would be a crime against humanity, and the people who support it should be put in institutions. But again, it's an inverted world. Me and you, the listener of this channel, we should be in institutions according to these nut jobs, and we need to blow holes in the atmosphere. It is insane what we're seeing go on during this time period. But again, do not fear. I don't do these videos so you're fearful. I do it so you know what's going on. Know your enemy. And if you know somebody who doesn't believe in knowing your enemy, that's perfectly fine. I believe in knowing your enemy. Why not? It's another way you can wake people up to Christianity or to Jesus Christ, right? They see the wickedness and they see this in prophecy, and then they go, wow. And a lot of people have watched this channel and picked up a Bible, and that's why I continue to cover it. A lot of Christians are like, why don't you just preach the good news and go knock on people's doors and read them the Bible? Because I'm pretty sure that approach is being done by a lot of people. And I personally don't think that approach works. I look at it from their perspective, and I don't see how that works too much. I'm sure it does sometimes, but it's a different approach to wake people up. And at the same time, I can't stand these people. I love to talk dirt about them because they're scumbags. Satan's a scumbag, and so are his minions. So this is what's going on. Be prayed up and be aware of the spiritual warfare that is surrounding. It's not surrounding us. It's swarming us right now. So stay in prayers and stay aware. I will continue to cover what's going on at CERN as this thing is turned on in the next couple of days. Reminder, check out the website at callforunuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. Hope to see everybody over there. I want to thank everyone here on YouTube. Appreciate the support. Hope everyone's doing well. God bless you and your families.